What's going on, guys? So today I have the newest OPPO flagship from OPPO. This is the OPPO Find X5 Pro. In short, I can say that this phone is the best in the market right now. In camera terms wise, this has two IMX766 sensors. One is on the ultra wide and one is on the main camera, which means that whenever you switch between the ultra wide and also the wide camera, there won't be any like differences in quality, so you get the best quality from both lenses. I'm over here at Capital Spring. I'm gonna try out the phone with you guys today. Let's go. Gonna wipe off the stain first. I mean the fingerprint, because it's a fingerprint magnet. Let's talk about key features of this phone. This supports 4K ultra night videos powered by the Marisilicon X, which I'm gonna talk more about it later on in the video. This phone is in collaboration with Hasselblad. The colors that the camera reproduces is calibrated to how a Hasselblad colors will look like. So for example, the skin tone will be actually quite natural. This supports ultra HDR video and has 5-axis optical image stabilization. I'm gonna test out the image stabilization later on inside the video to check out how good is the optical image stabilization. In this video, I'm comparing it to the Samsung S22 Plus and also my iPhone 11, which is like 3 years old now, and S22 is just recently came out, so it's like on par with each other. So let's talk about the unboxing of this phone. So it basically comes with this box. So once you open the box, you are greeted with another box which includes SIM ejector tool. You get some manual which states OPPO in the middle. Here is the case. So basically the case is a TPU case, silicon. It's a pretty nice case and it says OPPO at the bottom right. I feel that there are a lot of time spent on making the case because of the camera bump. It fits nicely on the phone and basically everything is nicely done. It adds a bit of protection on the camera module. Under the phone, you actually get your 80-watt charger brick and also cable. It's a Type A to Type C, but I wish that they actually changed the Type A to Type C. So I only need to bring one charger wherever I go. So this phone comes with the 80-watt superfook charger, meaning that you can charge your phone from 0 to 100% in 47 minutes. For a phone, you can charge that fast, 47 minutes there. Compared to my other phones that I have, it charges from 0 to 100 in around 1 hour 40 minutes, and this can charge within 47 minutes. That's like 1 hour faster than the rest of my phone. And first thing first, what I like about this phone is that the design of it. It is glossy black. It gradually curves onto the camera module, which I really like. When you shine light onto the camera module, the light wraps around the camera module, which is pretty awesome. So at the bottom right, it actually says OPPO. This is an OPPO collaboration with Hasselblad, so you get the name over there. It feels good in the hand, but I feel like the boxy design actually contributes to a better grip onto the hand, whereas rounded design, it feels like not as creepy as like a square design like on the iPhone 13s. At the bottom, you have your SIM card tray, your mic, your charger input, and also your speaker, and also the antenna band. And at the top have like your antenna band and also your other stereo mic. On the left side you have a volume rocker and also your antenna band for the 5G. On the right side also you only have a power button, which is illuminated with this green color hint onto the power button. I really like how it looks like. So it is a dual SIM card phone. One is at the front and one is at the back. Around the SIM card tree there's actually like a rubber O-ring, so that is actually waterproof. It also has stereo speakers, and I can say that this is one of the best speaker set that is available on Android right now. It has very nice bass. It's not that echoey and it feels very nice. It has a very good low ends and also a very good high ends. And the speaker is pretty loud too. Have a listen. And at the top of the camera module, it says powered by Marisilicon. This is the neural processing unit for the camera. This processor is responsible for processing images taken in low light. You can actually shoot good video quality in low light situations. This phone is powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. This is the best processor in the market right now on an Android phone, meaning that you can actually play games quite smooth on this phone, and has a Geekbench score of 3159 and a single core score of 725, which is quite good for a phone. You can play like high intensive graphics game on this phone. The display on this phone supports 1 billion color bionic display. This is a 6.7-inch display and has a screen-to-body ratio of 92.7% and has a resolution of Quad HD Plus and has a LTPO display running at 120Hz. For example, you're watching a video or like you're not scrolling anything, it will actually dump it down to 60Hz or even as low as 1Hz to conserve battery life. So the screen resolution, it comes in two modes, Full HD Plus and QHD Plus. It has a touch sampling rate of 240Hz and a color gamut of 97% NTSC and 100% DCI P3 color gamut, which is good. The color is quite accurate. It actually benefit me a lot because I'm doing a lot of color grading on this phone. So for example, previously I went for a night shoot with my friend. I did not want to edit it on my other device. I just want to edit it on this phone. I'm able to do that because it has a good display. Allows me to actually color grade the accuracy that I want. So it has 10-bit color. Other phones, they only support 8-bit color display, meaning that there are a lot more range of colors that you can see on this device. It has a pixel density of 525 ppi and has a peak brightness of 1300 nits. This has the Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, one of the most durable glass you have on the phone. OPPO call it nature tone display, whereby it actually analyzes your surroundings so that the color won't shift. It actually comes with this O1 Ultra Vision engine, which is basically like a image sharpener and also video color enhancer. It actually just enhances the clarity of low quality images, and also the video color enhancer, which changes from SDR to HDR technology. It makes the color a lot more contrasty and a lot more vibrant. This costs 1599. The price is quite competitive with other of its competitors. Samsung S22 Ultra costs around 1.8k and iPhone 13 Pro Max costs around 1.6. So it's around the same price as iPhone 13 Pro Max. When I think of OPPO Find X series, I usually think of their great design. I really like how smooth it is around the camera bump. There's like a smooth frame around the bump, as you guys can see over here. This weighs around 218 grams. It has an IP rating of IP68, meaning that it's dust and water resistant up to 1.5 meter for 30 minutes. It comes in two colors, ceramic white and glazed black. So with me here, I got the glazed black version. I prefer the ceramic white because it's white and like you can barely notice the fingerprint mark, whereas on the black, you can easily see the fingerprint over here. It's only been a few minutes since I wiped the phone and now fingerprints all over the phone. This has 12GB, which is expandable to 19GB by using the expandable storage. You go inside the settings, you go all the way down, about device, press on the RAM. You can actually expand it to 3GB, 5GB or 7GB. I have it on the 7GB now because I want it to be the best of the best right now so that I can play games smoothly. Comes in one storage version, which is the 256GB and is non-expandable storage. Let's talk to the fun part of this phone that I like, which is the camera. One thing I really like about this phone over here is the ability to shoot 4K at 60 frames per second and shooting at 50 megapixels on the ultra wide. Some of its competitors cannot shoot a 50 megapixel on the ultra wide, but this can, so meaning that quality on the ultra wide on this phone will be very good. All the audio that you guys are listening now is all recorded onto this phone. So how's the quality like? I have not listened to it yet. Once I'm editing this video, I'll be able to hear the sound. I'll talk to you guys more about the audio back at my studio. So this has two 50 megapixel sensors onto this phone. One is on the wide angle lens and one is on the ultra wide angle lens, meaning that when you switch from wide to ultra wide, there's no quality difference. For example, like on other phones, when you switch it to ultra wide, the quality actually drop. In low light, it's not that good to use ultra wide on other phones, but on this phone, because of the 50 megapixel sensor on the ultra wide, I'm able to take good images in low light, which is very good. Alright, the main camera has an aperture of 1.7 and has the 5-axis stabilization, whereas on the ultra wide angle lens, it has the f2.2 and support macro photography, so meaning that you can actually do macro photography on the ultra wide angle lens. It has a 13 megapixel telephoto lens running at f2.4, but I wouldn't recommend that because the quality isn't as good as the ultra wide and the wide angle lens. And on the front of the phone, it has 32 megapixel selfie camera, which is quite normal. Okay, let's try taking selfie on this phone. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, let's try the 15 megapixel on this camera. Honestly, I really like the sound. Whenever I take a picture, it gives me a satisfying sound. It sounds so good. It actually like pushed me to shoot more because I really like the sound. It sounds very satisfying. This phone has macro mode built into the camera. You can actually turn it on in the settings. You can actually go pretty close onto your subject, 4 centimeters very near to the subject. The 10-bit color is only available when you're not shooting on 50 megapixels, and also you cannot shoot 50 megapixel on the macro. Pretty bad side to it. You can actually shoot RAW on this phone by going to the More tab, pressing on the Pro. You can actually change it between RAW and RAW Plus. Until now, I do not know what's the difference between RAW and RAW Plus. If you guys know what's the meaning, can you guys actually tell me in the comment section down below? I really want to know what is it. And also, like, there's this one mode that is popular in Hasselblad cameras, which is the XPAN mode, which is basically you are able to shoot very wide screen format on a phone, which is actually one of the best features in the Hasselblad cameras. This camera really shines when it's like in low light because of the Marisilicon X. I can say it's pretty good, but isn't the best in portrait mode. It's still better than iPhone, I would say, in low light, but it's just that the portrait mode in this phone in low light is just really bad when the night mode isn't enabled. I never thought that long exposure on phone is possible, but OPPO Find X5 Pro proved me wrong. So right here, I can actually shoot long exposure on my phone on a tripod and the quality is quite decent. So I'm quite mind blown right now, and the low light capability is quite awesome on this phone. I'm pretty amazed with this phone, man. My settings are shutter speed is set to 2.5 seconds and my ISO is 100. Sadly, I cannot change the aperture because it is a fixed aperture. I'm shooting at aperture f1.7 if I'm not wrong. I got a 3-second timer on it, so we're gonna take a picture right now. And kabam! It just took a picture. These are some of the pictures that I took using the OPPO Find X5 Pro on the long exposure mode. I edited all of these images with my own preset. My favorite image is this one because of the light streak. I really like how the details. Okay, let's talk about the video features. Finally, they actually support 4K 60 FPS on the rear facing camera. Last time, they only support 4K 30 FPS. You guys saw my previous video, which I'm gonna link it up here. I actually reviewed the Reno 7 Pro 5G, but here on this phone, it supports 4K 60 FPS. So finally, I can do slow motion on this phone. It's a good 60 FPS on the 4K timeline. Okay, so now I have the S22 with me over here. How does the quality differ? Both are shooting at 4K 60 frames per second on the ultra wide lens. So how's the quality? I'm gonna try to walk now, see the stabilization, how does it differ. let's do a stabilization test on these two phones. Right off the bat, I can tell that the Oppo has a better overall image, but the stabilization is not the best. Even though it has the 5-axis image stabilization, it is still not as good as the Samsung S22 Plus. The Oppo Find X5 Pro shakes more. But when you're doing like panning shot, it's actually quite comparable and it's quite similar. You cannot do like abrupt movement because it'll be damn shaky. Overall, I really like how the images turn out, and I really like how the images are very nice. What I'm really disappointed is that the front-facing camera only supports 1080p. Compared to the other competitors, they can actually support 4K 60 frames per second on the front-facing camera. But this on this phone only supports 1080p. I do not know why they put 1080p. Maybe there's too much processing involved. I wish on their next flagship they actually put 4K 60 frames per second onto the front-facing camera, which I think will benefit us a lot as a creator. Alright, so now we're doing a low light test of the S22 and also the Find X5 Pro. So how does it look like? So I'm beside a light source right now. See how's the difference? I'm gonna go in front a bit. Here there's low light, there's barely any light over here. Behind me is the clock key. And yeah, this is the river key over here. The Samsung S22 Plus isn't as good as the Oppo Find X5 Pro in low light. Samsung S22 Plus has like this purplish hue to it in low light, whereas like Oppo Find X5 Pro actually gives off like this clean look, but also at the same time it is a lot more darker. It crushes the shadow more than the Samsung S22 Plus, but overall it has a cleaner images. For me, it's a bit too underexposed. Overall, it's pretty awesome. The Samsung S22 Plus, the image just really falls off in low light. The Oppo Find X5 Pro, you can actually use the image as compared to S22 Plus. Okay, so now I'm by the river. I want to compare the sound quality on the Oppo Find X5 Pro vs the iPhone 11. This is how the sound quality sound like on the Oppo Find X5 Pro. So hard to say. Okay, this is how the sound quality on the iPhone 11 sounds like, and this is how the sound quality on the Oppo Find X5 Pro 5G sounds like. So which one is better to you guys? There's like a bit of noise on to my right. Which one is nicer for you guys? For me, definitely the Oppo Find X5 Pro is nicer lah, because it's the newest one, and also like I have to go back to my studio to like actually compare the voice. This is how it sounds like. After this, I'm gonna go nearer to Clarke Quay, to Riverside Point, to actually like take more night pictures on this Oppo Find X5 5G to test out the low light capabilities on this phone. I'm actually very satisfied with this phone because it fits whatever I need, and usually I actually do like low light kind of photos, so that's why I really need a lot of like low light capabilities on this phone. I don't know what I'm talking about, but if you guys see my Instagram posts, I usually like make videos and take photos at night, so that's why having a low light capable phone is good for me. So yeah, I'm gonna test out the night mode on the Oppo Find X Pro 5G vs the Samsung S22 Plus. So I realized that Samsung has better details in the sky, whereas on the Find X5 Pro 5G has better overall image. For example, like the light behind me is not overexposed, whereas on like a Samsung S22 Plus actually overexposes the light. It has a CPU of Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, which I know I mentioned. It is the best chipset in the market right now, and I'm able to play my Rocket League quite smoothly. I realized that there's a bit of frame drop whenever I was about to hit the ball, but I can actually adapt to it. It has the GPU of Adreno 730. The games that I played on this phone was Asphalt 9 and also Rocket League. This is the main game that I play on this phone. It has two batteries over here, meaning that one big battery is split into two. Each of the battery cell has a capacity of 2500 mAh. It is split into two because it supports faster charging. When you have smaller battery size, you actually charge faster. This fast charges 80 watt Super VOOC and support wireless charging at 50 watt and support 10 watts reverse charging, which is quite fast for wireless charging. Compared to like iPhone, they only support 5 watt wireless charging. This has in-display fingerprint sensor and facial recognition, which I'm quite surprised. Just look at the phone, I can actually just unlock the phone. But it's not as secure as like Apple Face ID because it uses 3D while this is using 2D. But it's the fastest, man. Honestly, it's very fast. And the fingerprint sensor, it works okay. It's quite fast, but I've seen faster. This is running on the operating system of the ColorOS 12.1 based on Android 12. That's all there is to in this review. Let's talk about your personalization tab, whereby you can actually change the icons. You can actually change the fingerprint animation to like something like this. And also you can change like palettes, which I like. So you can actually change the colors of it. It's fully customizable in the settings. So yeah guys, that is it for this video. So this phone is actually sent to me by OPPO. So OPPO, thank you so much for sending this over for me to review it. You guys can actually get this phone right now. Get this phone at Shopee, Lazada, M1, StarHub or Singtel. Get your phone now. This is quite a good phone, I tell you guys. Yeah, 15 megapixel is very good. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. You guys can support me using that link in the description box below. And until then, I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye bye.